There we go. So there, I'll massage it, open it up, helps him relax. All right, you know, get some knees, crack the knuckles, boom. You know, they're really preparing the hand to get it wrapped. Just kind of massage it out. All right, and then I'll take my wraps. What I want to do with the first wrap is get kind of just an underlaying. So I'm not really trying to wrap it solid. Flare, so we say flare. So keep in mind in the fight to do that. The reason we flare is because when we do this, it's tense. This is about the most extreme. If they get loose, what will happen is you'll have unnecessary tension right there. That's the biggest problem. That's how you break your hands, all right? I know this because I broke my hand because I taped my own hand and it was like that. So what you want to do is flare. So whenever you're putting any tension, you want to make sure you say flare, okay? So I'll start here. What I'll do is flare. Okay, so you gotta remind the fighter all the time. They take it like a fight, they listen to music, whatever, this kid, whatever. So I'm gonna get kind of an underlay. Does that make sense? Right here. Boom. So just kind of get something, you know, when we do this. Now, a lot of times you think, oh, what most guys are trying to do is put a pad, make a fist. Put a pad right here. That's not exactly what we're doing. What we're actually doing is trying to put more of a pad here and make it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put anchors. What we wanna do is create break points here, something to separate the knuckles so they don't shift. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do this under here, just kind of get like kind of a base coat, if you will. Once I do that, now you see lots of trainers do it a different way. I like to use one wrap that makes one continuous movement. So I'll do this right here. And this is how I get that nice, good pad right here. And a lot of times, most commissions, good commissions, won't let you do it ahead of time. So I'll do it right there. Most guys have them pre-done or whatnot. And then with the rest, what now I want to do is I'm going to go right in here, kind of just come around, and boom, right here. So right there. So now I have a light pad on there. So what I'll do is I'll take my first little piece of tape, and no tension yet. No tension yet. So I'll go right here. Boom. Now I got this kind of base, if you will. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Now once I get that base in there, now I really want to give it a kick go. All right. So I'll go ahead. And now when I do the second one, what I want to do is really just tighten this up and make this pad a little bit bigger because now I have it under. So it's more about this pad I have started. What I'm going to do is I'm seal off these edges. So I'll start on the wrist. Again, always start on the wrist and go long. And now you'll see, now I kind of start covering this a little bit. Good. So I'll cover that just a little bit so it doesn't stick out. That makes sense. Cover the creases. And then now I'll do the second pad. So now I have a little bit of a pad there. So I'll do the second one. Boom. Boom. So I've done this a couple times. Yeah, you just kind of know right where you roll it. And now see that pad starts to form. And now for MMA, that's it. For MMA, that's all, because you have to get it in the MMA glove, and you want flexibility. A boxing wrap is a little bit different. It's a little more constricting here and here. But what you need here in MMA, for your underhooks, for everything, is flexibility in the wrist. So a lot of the anchors and a lot of the structure here is significantly different than boxing. So that's really what you want. That's why you're not putting the pad here. You want the knuckles to come through the glove. So you don't put a pad here in MMA. You hit wrong, you're going to break your hand. Whether you rely in favor of those guys who get wrapped up by Stitch, the best in the world, who does the best job in the world, they still break their hands. You punch wrong in somebody's skull with a 4-ounce glove, you're going to break your hand. All right? So once you get there, now I'm going to tighten there, flare. So now I'm going to tighten this guy up. Now I have enough to kind of finish and give it not a cast, but boom, feel that? So now I got that pad on there. I'm going to bring them out a little bit, boom. And now what I'll do is kind of just long. I always go long, full long. Never full short because that puts unnecessary tension on it. So that kind of starts looking good. I like the way that looks. Just tightens it up a little bit. I got about that much left, and I always finish on the wrist. So boom, then I want to finish down here. Go ahead and cut my tape. All right, so cut my tape. Down here. Boom. I'll get this guy right here. All right. Now from here, this is key. Okay, this is one of the most important parts. I'll turn it over. Okay. So now right here is this is where I'm going to basically put my anchors. So a lot of this is that pad that you didn't see him put a pad or anything in his hand. I'm going to create it right now. The pad for him to grab. Like say you put a roll of quarters in your hand. So now what I'm doing is creating. This is the magic right here. I'm creating that pad for him to grab now. It's kind of like a handle in a sense. Does that make sense? Like this. So we'll come around. Okay. Alright, come back around. Cool. So see what happened there? So now he has that little bit of pad or whatnot to grab. And now what I'll do is, this is another cool trick, all right? So now what I'll do is I'll put these guys right here. So there's no tension, so they're not even connected. Does that make sense? But one of the structural things about this is again, it's about that flexibility. Your first instinct whenever you go on the wrist is to go wrap, wrap, wrap. I need that flexibility for those underhooks, for that clinch. What I really
totally different from boxing.
Very different, very similar, but what I'm doing, this tape right here, in a sense, you'll see, it's really just a place to put my anchors. I don't, the only reason, because it won't stick to the pad otherwise, but I don't want to put that unnecessary tension on his wrist before I'm ready. You'll look and you flip over, you'll see right there, there's no tape touching. What this is really for is to catch those anchors. So, see how flexibility we've got? So right there, so there. So now, I'll do my anchors. My anchors are crucial, because turn it over. Open up, they go right in the middle, and now I start spinning them right here. Make it fit, make it fit, turn it over. Alright, now I spin them, and now my anchor, boom, 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 my anchor gets anchored right back to here. Alright, boom. So now my anchor's back to here. So my anchor's right there, it's one. It doesn't have to look pretty at first. It's gonna look, make a fist, come on. There's anchor number one. I really rolled it, so I need to roll it a little bit more. So it has structure, does that make sense? So you roll it, see that? Okay, there you go. So you roll it, so it has kind of a structure. So you're making the tape, and you're making it, so now, there's my anchor, see that? And now I'll put my anchor right there, and that's solid, that's a good little structure with that tape is good, alright? So sometimes I'll have to throw one more on there, because I want that anchor to stick, and I want it to stay, alright? Now, throw another anchor on there, turn it over, open up, so I'll go under again, and now I'll start rolling it, make a fist, start twist, turn it over, alright, cool, alright, so now, here's another one. Here's my second anchor. Boom.
So you're looking at 2 pairs of Mexican wraps per.
2 pairs, and Scott's hands are a little bit bigger, and then I'll put another roll of tape there because I want these anchors to go straight down into this. And it'll all come together at the end. So here's my last anchor. Open up, turn over. So I'll go under here, and again, just securing it. So now you see that handle that I created. So that handle, no, open up, I'll tell you. Flare. Make a fist. So then I roll it, and this also tightens it while I'm rolling it. And I leave this little edge right here. I go boom, 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 and I'll pull it over. Not too much tension, and boom. Alright? So now I got my anchor. So now what do I got to make a fist. So now it's time to tighten it up. Alright? So when I tighten it up, this is where I go here, but the key is, do this, is go long, come over. So you're never pulling in a sense, you always wrap. So you go here, long, boom, the tight fist. So this is where the key is. And this is, if you look at it, just like the structure underneath, it has a concept that you don't have to make it look good. It's not about making it look good. This part here is where you make it look good. Alright? Open up. So now, when I'm going anywhere here, no tension. Make a fist. There. So now, tension, when I go here, I gotta make sure
yes tension or no tension?
No, right now, make a fist. Make
now
a fist.
over the tension.
Yeah, because I'm going over the top. Open up. Okay? Tight fist. Now I'm gonna go right across again. Now, it's just, none of the tight fist, I'll tell you. Open up. Tight fist. So now I'm just kind of making this structure you'll see here. Alright, open up. Tight fist. So when I go over, I make sure it's tight. Alright, now I'll go back down around. And now it's just making that wrist. That's why I skipped that wrist earlier. Normally people start and do this right here, what I'm doing right now with the wrist at the beginning. But now I've created enough pad, enough stuff in between that he has that flexibility. So now this is the finishing. So now I'll do one more. And this last one, you'll see everything come together. That makes sense? Everything will be covered. All these seams will be nice and tight. Open up, tight fist. And I'll come back low on this one again, because I really want to get open up, tight fist. And I'll come around again. All right. Open up, tight fist. And now here, what the commission will do, I don't think they have a commission there, but they basically will take one finger and put it there. Make a fist, tight fist. So you have to be behind that. You can't tape here. You don't want to either because you want that knuckle to pierce through that glove. So then I'll go right here, make a tight fist. Right here. Open up. Tight fist. There. Now I'll go one more. Here. Open up. Tight fist. And I always, when I go over the wrist, I go over the top because that's the most important structural part of the wrap is that wrist, and you have to have that flexibility. So I don't want to go underneath because I don't, so you can't go this way. I want him to go this way. So if I go underneath, you won't be able to go one way or the other. Makes sense? So then I'm going to finish here. And this is where I finish up wrapping along on that hand and tighten it up. But move your wrist. Move your wrist up and down. Look at that. So this is secure. It's secure because it's locked into this and he has anchors holding this back. So he doesn't have separation here, so they're not going to shift. This is solid and has no tension. It's not squeezing his hand together, but it's solid here because he made a tight fist and I was tight on it. And then when I finish, now he's got this where I kind of seal it up so the pressure is here. That makes sense? So the pressure on the wrist is going to be more towards the end. Boom, and not here where I need that flexibility, but it's still going to give him because this is all connected. So then I'll turn it over, I'll stick my fingers in here and I'll pull 1, 2, 3, make a fist. 1, 2, 3, and now, boom. That's a perfect wrap. Boom, check it out. Make a fist. Good, that's it. Perfect wrap for MMA. Turn it over. Good, open up. That's it, so this is his handle. So he's got basically a handle, something to grab onto while he's punching. Flexibility, make a fist. Flexibility in his wrist. Flex your wrist up and down so he can do underhooks. Good. And enough secure positioning here so he's not going to hurt his wrist. This right here, the pad, if you can see, make a fist. There's still the knuckle right here, so I'm still going to be able to drive that knuckle through the glove and I'm not taking that away with my anchors. That's your wrap.